Okay, so our story for today is Born to Read. The story is by Judy Sierra, and pictures are by Mark Brown. Born to Read. In the town of Sunny Skies, a tiny baby blinked his eyes at dragons dancing overhead and letters painted on his bed. That's me, he thought. My name is Sam. I'm born to read. I know I am. Okay, really quick. He's in a crib, if you notice, and it said a tiny baby. He was born to read. He was reading as a baby. Did any of us read as babies? No, I have a little girl who's only a year and a half old, and she doesn't read. Not yet. Sam flashed his mom a hopeful look. She opened up a picture book. Then another, then another, then another, then another. He's in his crib. Such a perfect, patient mother. Do you notice any of these books that Sam is reading? Are they any books that you've read before? I noticed some of them. Pat the Bunny. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom is in here. Whoop, right there. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Cat in the Hat. I know this one because I just read this yesterday with Audrey. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Guys, these are books that we're familiar with too. Wow. Does someone read to you at home? Like the mom is reading? I read to Audrey. When you're at school, I read to you. Who reads to you at home? Sam became a reading star. He helped his papa drive the car. He helped his sisters do their chores. He helped himself at grocery stores. Wow. Do any of these things look familiar to you? Can you read some of these? Like a stop sign? Slow, no U-turn. I bet you're able to read some things at the store. Like packages of food that you really like. Once, when Sam was almost 4, his knees turned green, his thumbs got sore, his cheeks were flicked with yellow spots. They rushed him off to Dr. Potts, who cried, "It's Martian mustard action! You'll need an operation!" Sam asked, "Is that necessary? Let me see that dictionary. Here's a better diagnosis. Harmless preschool Play-Doh-osis." Look at that. He had Play-Doh balls all over him. That's kind of funny. Sam read in the bed and in the hall and in the tub and at the mall, and he read while playing basketball. Wow. Sam is reading in many different places. Do you see that? And we can. When we're on the go, we can read all around us. Road signs, signs for stores, signs for restaurants. We can read all kinds of things like that. So, for example, I can read signs in the car, stop signs. I can read restaurant signs. I can read store signs. And you know what? It's happened before where I've had kids come to my classroom and they say, "Miss Lehman, I can't read." And I say, "Sure you can." And I'll hold up some pictures of some restaurants and some stores that they go to, and they'll tell me the name. Walmart, Target, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, look at there, you can read. That's called environmental print. It's things that's all around us, and we learn to recognize it. So maybe you can read too. And that was a personal connection I just made. If you think about it, I thought back to a time that my students said they couldn't read, and then I helped them realize that they could. Passing by the pizza place, Sam spied a poster, "Cycle race." Right away, his head was spinning, filled with thrilling dreams of winning. Ooh, wonder what he's going to do. Sam read books on motivation, concentration, muscle action, getting traction. good nutrition, grand ambition, playing fair, and bike repair. So Sam is now reading about how to do the cycle race. And not only that, but taking care of his body, good nutrition and ambition, and how to take care of his bike. So he is teaching himself all about bikes and how to ride them. On Saturday at 9:30, as Sam approached the starting line, all the racers roared with laughter. They would not be laughing after. Sam took off at a lightning speed and sprinted to an early lead, uphill, downhill like a rocket, stopping once to fix a sprocket. See, it was important that he learned how to work on his bike because he had to fix something during the race. When the pack was lost from view, Sam paused to read a poem or two. Popped a Willie just for fun and finished up as number 1. Here's my secret, Sam decreed. Readers win and winners read. So do you think Sam would have won that race if he read about how to do a bicycle race, how to care for his bike, how to eat healthy to prepare for his race? He probably would not have won. If he just said, you know what, I'm going to sign up for that race, and he just did it and he didn't read about it, he probably would not have won. So I like what he says. Readers win and winners read. I think that's pretty cool. So I can actually make another personal connection to this right here. I decided, in my free time, I like to run. And I decided a few years ago that I was going to sign up for a half marathon. And boys and girls, that is 13.2 miles. That's a lot of miles and a lot of running on your feet. So in order to prepare for that, I read about it, I researched on the internet about it, and I followed a training program to help me work my way up to the day of the race. Now, I didn't win because I'm not a super fast runner, but I was so happy when I finished because I read about it, I researched about it, and I was able to do it. If I didn't train, if I didn't eat healthy for it, then it would have been a really hard struggle for me to finish that race. But I finished it, and I got my medal. I actually have a couple of medals. I've ran a couple of half marathons. So, but that's a personal connection to me. Just like he read for the cycle race, I read up and researched and did all that I read about training for my half marathon. So now I want you to start thinking about what personal connections can you make? And anytime we're trying to make personal connections, I have a couple of questions here that we need to ask ourselves when we're making connections. And boys and girls, this can happen for any story you read. Doesn't matter if it's fiction or nonfiction. So, does this remind me of anything in my life? How is this similar to my life? And similar means what things are in common with you. How is it different? So something similar for me and Sam was we both read up on our races, but something different is he did a cycle race and I did a running race. Has something like this ever happened to me? And have I ever done anything the characters are doing? And I can say yes, I made a couple of personal connections with Sam. So now I want you to make your own personal connections. Head on down to the student template, and you're going to see there, I'm going to have this picture of the anchor chart in there for you, and then you're going to have a turn to make your own personal connections to the story that we read today.